Bitcoin breaking another all-time high, breaking $50,000 once again. In this video, I want to discuss why this time it's a little different, setting up something potentially very big for Bitcoin. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way in. I appreciate it. Seriously, hit that like 50,000 times on your way in, everybody, please. Let's get this 2 a.m. live stream started. Oh, here we go. This is interesting, isn't it? I started a live stream, and this is a 5-minute chart. We can watch Bitcoin tank. I'm telling you, everybody, they're watching us YouTubers. Don't you feel that sometimes? So I don't know what's going to happen in the minutes ahead. I don't know what's going to happen as I do this live stream, but what just happened on the charts is something I just wanted to really document. I wanted to document it live. We just hit another all-time high. I mean, this has been a series, and again, I'm never on 5-minute charts. You know that, everybody. But here's a 5-minute chart zoomed out, and Bitcoin's just been breaking all-time highs over and over again, right? Here's Bitcoin almost breaking $50,000. Here's Bitcoin breaking $50,000, not really lasting very long above $50,000. This was, what was this? This was just yesterday. And then here's Bitcoin breaking $50,000. This is a 5-minute chart, not lasting very long. I mean, really not lasting more than 10 minutes. Now Bitcoin breaking $50,000, and something interesting is happening. We're getting at least 5-minute closes. There are still a lot of concerns on these charts, but there's a couple really notable things happening on these Bitcoin charts. It's what I want to talk about right now. So let's kind of dive in here and discuss what's going on. I want to go here. This is just a very clear view of a 6-hour chart we've just been tracking on this YouTube channel, and I doubt I'm the only one. So we have currently a 6-hour candle outside of this upper trend line. Now, this can change while I'm doing this video, so keep that in mind. But we want to watch, at least if we're really talking about the midterm and not just in the minutes that I'm doing this, we want to watch where the 6-hour candle closes. So it's awesome we just broke an all-time high again. It's awesome that we're trading, $400 above $50,000. But at the same time, there's not a lot of separation on the 6-hour chart. But let's start digging into what's actually going on here, and let's discuss. Ultimately, I did a video the other day discussing when we were at the lower trend line, what we want to see speculatively. We want to see Bitcoin just trickle up, break the trend line, and just see support above it. That's all we want to see. To see support above that upper trend line right there, we need Bitcoin to get separation. So here we are on the hourly chart, Bitcoin potentially getting some separation. Not a lot though. I mean, right now, if you look at this hourly chart, Bitcoin right now trading, I mean, now even less. We're 0.5% above this trend line right here, this upper trend line. But if we're looking zoomed out on the chart, this is a move Bitcoin hasn't really made just yet. We actually closed an hourly candle outside of this trend line. Now, that's very notable in terms of potential momentum for Bitcoin and what's going on for Bitcoin. But probably even more notable, and we'll get back to this chart, is this chart. And this is really something I wanted to discuss. On this 6-hour chart, we have been just tracking a couple of Fibonacci resistance areas. So if you remember, we had this nice move to $42,000 all-time high. We fell into there's a bunch of symmetrical triangles going on there. We'll talk about that in a second. But along the way, we had that swing high to our swing low in Bitcoin, breaking this resistance area. If you've watched my videos, I said I wasn't very confident Bitcoin would break this area, and it did. But we have this other higher high area, the 1618 up here, that we've talked a lot about as Bitcoin has been approaching it. And we have another 1618, which is that next lower high right here to the same swing low. And then we have another 1618 higher high right here. And so we have this channel of resistance of sorts that Bitcoin has formed, which consists of two 1618 resistance areas. So for Bitcoin, this is huge resistance. These are higher high Fibonacci resistance areas, and they're really translating onto the macro charts at this point very heavily because we're at a psychological barrier. At the same time, Bitcoin's trading within this resistance, $50,000, breaking all-time highs consistently on these very zoomed in charts. So ton of resistance here, and it's proven true since February 8th. So over a week, Bitcoin has just been struggling with this entire channel. You can see the first half struggling with this lower 1618 resistance channel, line, and then most recently struggling just below this upper 1618 line, which in my opinion, really an even more crucial, heavily resistant area. This 1618 right here is around $50,200 or so. Now, what's notable thus far is right now Bitcoin essentially has traded for the longest it's traded above that area, the 1618. And we're on these micro charts, everybody. And if you like these micro charts, I know a lot of you like these micro charts. Hit that like on the way in. I appreciate you hitting that like so we get some momentum. And I'm curious. I do check the chats as I'm doing this, but just tell me what time it is in your part of the world, because right now it's 2:13 a.m. I just happened to be up and I wanted to document this move. So really notable. This is why I wanted to document the move, that Bitcoin is above this 1618 right now. What I'm really curious of, and there's still over 4 hours left on this 6-hour candle. I wish I could stay up for the whole 6-hour candle. Not going to happen. But I'm really curious to see what happens with this 6-hour candle. Is it going to close above $50,200, this 1618 line? And if you zoom out on this chart, you know there's other things we're tracking, right? We have one symmetrical triangle above $55,000. We have another symmetrical triangle right around above $51,000, not far off. We're $1,000 away from that target. The $1 trillion market cap could be a move away, just over $53,000. A rising wedge, $55,000 targets. And if we go back to this chart, we can zoom out and kind of see what that looks like. So this is Bitcoin playing out potentially to that $55,000 target up here out of this rising wedge. Now, based off of, obviously we used a ton of our own data, but we tweak data that's out there. One of my favorite sites is the patternsite.com, Bulkowski. He just does really good work and he documents his data, his trades really well. So just regarding rising wedges, there's different rules depending on who you talk to, but pretty much all of them abide by the same guidelines to a sense. But his rules, based on his data, which is 1,400 perfect trades, we typically see these patterns, these rising wedges, break out 67% of the way, and this is for an upward move, 67% of the way to the apex. So just to give you an idea, before I came down here and I started this live stream, I measured, and I think right now we're around 71%. So give or take, again, we're right around there, right? For an upward breakout area in terms of Bitcoin breaking out of this rising wedge. Now, 60% of the time, I believe, based on his data, his trades, 60% of the time, these setups break bearish. And everybody knows that. I see comments all the time because I'm always tracking these rising channels. Everybody has just this innate sense that this is just a terrible setup for Bitcoin. And, traditionally rising wedges can look bearish and can really play out bearish. But if you just go study the Bitcoin charts and bull markets, Bitcoin has broken out of so many rising wedges, rising channels in bull markets, defying odds, defying the shorts, defying the bears. It just happens often. So oftentimes when we're in a bull market, right, and I'm talking just even in recent months doing these videos, we've just talked about these, and it gives you a bullish sense often. Now, right now, in terms of confirmation, I think a 6-hour chart on this rising wedge would be way better, more reliable than an hourly. I mean, right now it's extremely indecisive. I'll end this live stream eventually. We talked about there's over 4 hours left for a 6-hour close. Right now we're on hourly, but it's just very indecisive what's going to happen if we're even going to see any support trickling at least sideways above this trend line. This would be the exact move we talked about in the video the other day. This is kind of from that video, me plotting speculatively what we want to see, a break through the upper trend line and sideways above. And right now, at least as I do this very video, it could potentially play out that way on this chart. So if we zoom out here now, and let me just zoom out. This is actually an hourly, but we're going to zoom all the way out. I think I have a big enough screen. And you can just see how micro of a move this entire rising wedge is that we've been tracking. It's a very micro move, but there's more midterm things playing out on the charts along the way, which is these symmetrical triangles back here that we talked about. So we have this smaller one that we tracked. We got the breakout. This was the beginning of February, I guess you could say. Breakout target just above $51,000. Bitcoin is almost there, almost at that bullish target. And then we have another breakout target right around $55,000, this larger symmetrical triangle for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin well on its way to these targets to the upside, and it really starts on this very micro move on this rising wedge for Bitcoin that it's in right now. And if we actually change this to a 6-hour chart, I have so many charts open on my screen. I don't even know where my 6-hour chart is. So I'm just going to change this hourly to a 6-hour. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then we can track Bitcoin right now. If we move this line, putting in the 6-hour chart. So 4 hours, 41 minutes. What's going to happen on the 6-hour chart? No idea. Time will tell. I don't know where you are in the world, but I know it's probably going to do something while I'm sleeping. I wanted to point something out, just a little shift, because we're very zoomed in. I mean, I started this video on a 5-minute chart. Look at this 5-minute chart, everybody. I mean, when we're above $50,000, and actually, let me just take a second. Bitcoin's above $50,000. That's ridiculous, actually, if you think about it. I've been doing these videos for 3 years, all through the bear market. Bitcoin's above $50,000, about, potentially in the next 30 seconds could break another all-time high on this 5-minute chart. How could you not want to just look at 5-minute charts or even minute charts? Because every minute could potentially be like a really, like, kind of a cool celebration, especially because if you get just those explosive like 5-minute candles or 1-minute candles, it's like a few $100s. They're awesome. So I'm getting a little sidetracked. What I wanted to show you is this monthly chart. I just wanted to remind you all, as we are so zoomed in on this, on these minute charts, the 5-minute charts, the hourly charts. I just want to remind you all of, especially if you've been just a long time Bitcoin holder, if you went through all of this mess, look at this just ridiculous setup to $90,000 plus $100,000 range. Do you remember? It wasn't that long ago, Bitcoin breaking out July of 2020, finally breaking back above $10,000 for some time, breaking this trend line. And now Bitcoin is up, as I do this video, from that month, Bitcoin up 450% at 2:20 a.m. Eastern time. I think that's pretty sick. It's something to really, really kind of just take in. So recently, with this entire move that Bitcoin has been setting up on this 6-hour chart, I've been going back and forth to this chart for Bitcoin. And this was when Bitcoin was breaking $20,000. Now, this is a daily chart, and by the way, you can see rising, you can just see higher highs and higher lows everywhere, all over the place if you zoom out on this chart. But this is Bitcoin breaking $20,000, and this is a daily candle. And right now, I know we're analyzing the 6-hour charts, the hourly charts, but what I really would like to see as Bitcoin has broken $50,000 is a daily chart that looks very similar to Bitcoin breaking $20,000. And what I mean by that is simple. It's not a slow, steady break. It's a solid break with good separation. Bitcoin at that time closed at 21,300. So nice separation on the daily chart. And ultimately, that's what we'd be looking at or looking for on this chart. And this is a 6-hour, but you can visualize it as a daily. We want to see Bitcoin just continue breaking to the upside and get separation all away from this entire trend line, and just put in a solid green candle. The concern that I've had, and this is Bitcoin just before it actually broke $20,000. So here's the move, Bitcoin breaking $20,000 and putting in that nice daily candle. This is a 6-hour chart, but that's the move, Bitcoin breaking. But before that, Bitcoin was teasing us. I don't know if you remember, Bitcoin was just like almost breaking $20,000 and just saw resistance. So on the 6-hour chart, this is like from November 17th all the way to December 15th, almost a month, Bitcoin teasing us and actually even throwing in a dip of like 15 to 20%. So this was like my entire concern for Bitcoin, especially just looking at this rising channel Bitcoin. Obviously at the time we were hoping Bitcoin would break to the upside through 20,000, and it broke to the downside. So my whole point here is, my concern was we have another rising channel, this rising wedge. And is Bitcoin going to tease us like it did with 20,000, tease us at 50, get resistance, never break it really, and just, cruise back down to 42,000, leaving us to be extremely patient in terms of what Bitcoin's going to do next. So, so far it hasn't happened. And the craziness of this chart is just the perfect resistance at this upper trend line over and over again. Even right here, and so I think last night or whenever this was, I was going to do a live stream. I literally set up, I do the thumbnail, I get set up to do the live stream. And then I think same thing here. I'm setting up to do the live stream. I think Bitcoin's about to break out like the $50,000 area, and then it fails. It just kept failing. And then tonight, the same thing. You can ask my wife. I'm like, dude, if Bitcoin breaks $50,000, I'm not going to go downstairs yet. I'm going to wait a little bit. Like, give me at least like 3 5-minute candles closing above $50,000. And then I'll go do a live stream. And we got that. So there's a little bit difference now. And, according to the data, the 67% to the apex of rising wedges, we're right around 70% or so, 71%. This could potentially, I should say, be a perfect breakout for Bitcoin. And I've noticed as I was kind of charting, and it's better illustrated on an hourly, this is a 6-hour, but just kind of this resistance right here along the way. And then Bitcoin got this break right here, and it just to me mimics an ascending triangle. And I think the breakout target for that, if we were to really chart that, is like right around $53,000. And that's what we want to see. We want to see all these bullish targets out of these patterns, because each one is a stepping stone. It could be a stepping stone of resistance to consolidate before continuation. It could be a stepping stone of resistance once we hit the target, say 53,000, to come back down and test this wedge. But at least we got the separation to do so before continuing to a $55,000 target. We want to hit these targets, and that's why this chart is so crucial. We have all of these targets to the upside, and so much can happen if we can just start hitting those targets, because Bitcoin is getting separation from the very resistance that we've been tracking on this YouTube channel. So really just wanted to track this right now. Bitcoin, it's doing its thing. I can't sit here for the next 4 hours and see how this 6-hour candle closes. But wow, I am very curious. I'll tell you what, I'm a long-term bull, right? I always talk about dips because I want to be prepared for them. But at the end of the day, I think I'm like most of you. We just want to keep seeing higher highs and higher lows. So I really hope I don't wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin is just this 6-hour candle failed and we're back in this rising wedge. We're not out of the woods yet, even though Bitcoin's at an all-time high, $50,800. We're not out of the woods yet. Saw a couple super chats. Jake, appreciate you. Thank you for the late night vid, Dan. No problem. Thank you for watching. I'm actually surprised we have 1,500 people in here. I didn't think there would be many people up right now. Thanks for the years of great info. $5 super chat from Wendell. Yo, thanks, Wendell. I know you, man. I appreciate your support, and appreciate each and every one of you. So Wendell wants to see a 5-minute chart. Do I have the 5-minute chart still open? So here's a 5-minute chart. I think this is like a first for me. not only doing it's 2:26 in the morning doing a live stream, but I'm doing a 5-minute chart. I'm showing a 5-minute chart. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute chart, everybody. But look at the trend line just below where Bitcoin is on this 5-minute chart. I mean, not even 1% of separation. Somebody said ETH looking good. And yeah, I mean, it's cruising, right? It's a 5-minute chart, but it's dicey when you're digging into those 5-minute charts. That's why I'm, hourly, 6 hour for me. That's kind of my style. That's kind of my speed. I'll get stressed out mentally if I'm watching 5-minute charts. I appreciate all of you cruising by. If you didn't see this, I just showed this a couple minutes ago. Zoom out, everybody. Enjoy the gains. This is a monthly chart. And we're in this new bull cycle. I want to remind everybody this bull market just started not long ago. If we actually chart the bull market doors, this macro Fibonacci, that green channel, that's the bull market doors. And I'll chart the bull market doors from the last cycle. That green channel back here, the bull market doors. So if you want to get a sense of kind of where Bitcoin is in terms of bull market cycles, Bitcoin right here bounced off of in July 2017, this 1618 line of that Fibonacci to cruise up another 5 or 6 months into the bull market. We have been tracking on the weekly. Bitcoin just made a very similar move in terms of this cycle after breaking through the bull market doors back in November. So there is, at the very least, 6 months left of just solid gains for Bitcoin. And I've been meaning to do a video why I think that could potentially just be out the window, and there could be way more than that left for this bull market, easily going to the end of this year, and then all-time highs. That's another story as well. I want to do a video on that to really zoom out on the charts and talk about these things. There are a lot of fundamental differences happening right now, and you see it on the monthly chart. Even you see some differences here. Bitcoin kind of at this stage, but there's a little bit of a difference, and you can just see it illustrated perfectly. It's called supply shock. It's called demand. And just to give you a sense, if you go to the momentum oscillators on this monthly chart, Bitcoin, ton of room for upside in terms of historical data. So this time, last bull market, Bitcoin right around the same area as Bitcoin is now on the RSI. Bitcoin was well overbought for months on this monthly chart on the stock RSI. Bitcoin just getting into that phase. So a lot of room, everybody. A lot of room for Bitcoin to the upside. Dude, we follow you around the world. Keep up the weirdly timed live streams. It's 8:30 a.m. here in the Netherlands, enjoying a coffee and your stream. Yo, Pound, that is awesome. I just love the thought of that. I mean, your sun is up. You're watching. It's probably hopefully a nice sunny day. You're drinking some coffee. My day is winding down, and Bitcoin is not sleeping at all. Bitcoin's doing its thing, and we're all kind of enjoying it together. So I appreciate you cruising by, everybody. Let's see what Bitcoin does. You know the story. Let's see how this 6-hour candle. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of video I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Hopefully, it's me talking about Bitcoin hitting at least our first symmetrical triangle target, $51,500. That would be a great video to do. Let's see what happens on the 6-hour charts. Everybody, if you're here right now, just hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Turn those notification bells on so you get notified of these live streams, because I really do. I got some weird hours, and I'll do a live stream whenever I need to. I hope you have an awesome night. Let's see what Bitcoin does. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.